It's okay.
I'm pretty sure that's not open.
Keep going. It's their old location. Here's this old location. It was a lunch studio. Here now. Hello. You don't happen to be one of the artists, do you?
No.
Okay. I was just wondering. Okay, cool. And you are in the, this is the Buckham Galleries exhibit for this month?
Yes.
The new artist. So are you from the area?
I'm from New York City.
Oh, really? Is that where you were born there? I mean, that's where your native country is?
Never left.
Oh, really? Cool.
Born and raised.
Yeah, well, just curious because so many times, somebody says they're from New York and usually it's like, but I used to live in Flint a long time ago. Anyway.
I can't link
Okay,
you
I'm
to
sorry.
anywhere else.
I'll cut that part out, okay?
No, and in fact, part of some of my work is about
Okay.
the location.
Okay.
that are personally significant.
If you wanted to explain to me your art, that would be great.
The first image is the block I grew up on.
Oh, okay.
My
Well, you know
parents
what?
still live.
Cool. So then, what I'll do is, then I'll just walk back around and
Okay.
look at everything. But these are places in New York.
All of these collages on display were generated in Manhattan. Everything is below 34th Street, in fact. There's a number of images in the Chelsea area, some in Chinatown, but mostly along 23rd, 28th Street in Chelsea, where I live now.
So it looks to me as though you're combining several images, right? And that's how you're creating it, or are you doing something different?
That's right. So these images are created by a program that I wrote that's actually running live right over here, generating fresh images.
I was looking at that. Oh, it's generating the images?
Yeah, it's creating the collage right now of people interacting with it.
Oh, wow.
And,
so you're really a computer scientist?
I am not. I'm an artist, and I learned how to write a program to make this. This is the program I've written.
Yeah.
I haven't written any other program. Actually, that's not true. There's a number of versions of this that I've written at this point.
Okay, cool. No, that's cool. Okay. So I can just show walk around, or did you want to walk around with me and explain to me?
Sure.
Okay, let's start. Tell me where to start.
This image is one of my favorites.
Okay.
One of the things that happened in this is I'm standing on the south side of 28th Street here, photographing this view of a construction site on Broadway and 28th Street, and this temporary view of the Empire State Building that you can see will be covered by whatever new building arises here. The sun is striking the Empire State Building. I exposed for that. And this wall here was correctly exposed for people walking on this side of the street where I was standing are underexposed, and they show up as silhouettes. And then as my program continues to look for areas of difference and the sun shifts in the sky, the textures of the wall become a different color as the sun moves. Shadows become highlights, or highlights become shadows, and that's the technique that's new, and it starts to appear through the silhouettes of the people that are closer than the wall, and so visually it pushes them onto the wall and makes them into shadows almost.
But if I understand right, are you saying then that the program that you created is making this art, is generating this art?
Yes, 100%. My hand is not part of it.
That is so interesting.
I mean, my hand wrote the program, and I positioned the camera.
No, that is amazing. I write sci-fi shorts, so that's
so
like
maybe
a really
this
cool
is dystopian
idea.
art then.
It could be.
When computers make art.
Show me some more.
Robots make art. So one of the things that I really am interested in is the pace of change right now. There's a lot of construction in the city. This is an area on 34th Street that didn't exist a few years ago. They call this Hudson Yards. And at Hudson Yards, it was just a rail yard until a few years ago when they covered it and started building these really large buildings. This is the edge of it. So here we have this area that's still empty, bordered by this looming presence of the building. I took multiple pictures. Here you can see that people are walking by in the shadows, in the shade. Here I'm standing in the shade, the sunlight's striking over here. The clouds are moving and showing up multiple times. Also reflected multiple times in multiple positions.
Yeah, that almost kind of mirrors there almost. Okay, cool. Any other special?
This image, one of the things that I do is I look for personally significant places like my street corner or places that I think were historically significant. I recently read the book Just Kids by Patti Smith. Nope. Patti Smith is a musician. She's still alive, actually, and a poet.
Oh, okay.
She
Kind of like a hippie. Kind of?
Sure.
Okay.
Horses? What's she? Wild horse? I'm not. Cut that part. I don't know that. I'm not
Okay.
big. No,
Okay.
so well. She lived with Robert Mapplethorpe in the Chelsea Hotel in the 1970s. This is the
Yeah.
Chelsea Hotel right here. And then later they moved down the block to this apartment right here. So this is a picture of Patty and Robert's second apartment on 23rd Street.
Cool.
And it's a panoramic collage.
Yeah.
Taking
It-
pictures.
It's almost like there's a sentimental image.
It's all very sentimental.
Yeah. Okay. That your computer is creating.
That my computer's creating, exactly. This
That
is
you created.
23rd and 8th. This is my corner.
Yeah.
This is the Chelsea Hotel again.
Okay, cool.
Same location. And as an artist in New York, I really feel the disappearing art spaces like really strongly. We have very few spaces that are affordable to sit around and make art in and not worry about making money off our art.
Yeah.
You know, everything's so monetized and expensive in the city that these places, the legends of, you know, the creativity that was possible in 1960s and 70s, 50s, 60s and 70s, even into the 80s, is legend now. You know, it's sort of we're just sort of looking for the last vestiges of that.
Yeah.
As artists in the city. And coming to Flint and coming to Detroit, it really feels very different. Where all of a sudden you have
Oh, have you
expansive
been to Flint
spaces.
before?
Never. Today is my first day.
Oh, you've never? Did you say?
Today was the first day I've ever been in beautiful Flint, and I am very happy to be here.
Cool. So it's not as scary as you had heard?
Is New York?
It's an urban area, I know. So I mean, you know, whenever you get an urban area, there's going to be, you
I'm
know,
an
you gotta be,
urbanist.
yeah, you gotta
I might
look
be
around.
wearing, you know,
Yeah.
what looks like a not urban shirt today, but
Yeah.
don't let the appearances
Okay.
deceive you.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
I was trying to blend in. I was like,
Well, yeah, and you definitely didn't want to be robbed or anything. So, okay, anything else? You look at the rest of it.
So, this is more of Hudson Yards.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite buildings in Manhattan. I'm not against all development. I'm very aware of it. This is Zaha Hadid. She's an architect who, maybe most famously, did the BMW factory. These swooshing forms. And, anyway, beautiful building under construction. The temporariness of that. And this is the block I grew up on. And that hasn't changed much at all. Here again, we have another of these silhouetted forms against the sky. And I find that to be a very interesting way of composing things.
Well,
And
like
also
it's
showing very
shine.
well. I have a tripod that's maybe this high, often shooting from knee height. Yeah. That puts people up there into the sky for silhouette.
Have you ever been to Flint before?
Never. No, today's my first day.
Surprised?
I'm happily surprised. I mean, it's
You
lovely.
get terrible press.
Well, so,
I won't say anything.
So anyway,
But, you know, really, I think New York is sort of
Memorial Day weekend, so I expected it to be warm. Yeah, so I had a match on me, so that probably was a good thing. Obviously, and taking a shower and ready for you. Good thing the wash was on. Get out of your way.
oh, that's okay. I just videotape the art walk every month,
Oh, okay.
and I hadn't videotaped this art yet.
days. Never mind what the people say. You can pass the test. Just a little faith, you can put your mind to it, can surely do it. Well, Curtis Mayfield. And when we're making love, you cry, say her from above. Oh, it's just the two of us between those sides we wanna make. Yeah. Oh, every time I look into your eyes, I feel it turn around like me. Every time I get a bit inside, I feel it. You're all right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Ferris wheel. Let's make some noise for Phil Hagerman, and we got so many good people here. Heather Kale and the whole Ferris community. Put your hands together for them. Come on, put your hands together. We have a request to hear some Steely Dan. Feel free to bring the band as much wine as you can. I'm not exaggerating. I think we could all use some wine. I want to give a lot of my friends are here tonight. My friend Marge Murphy, who runs the Cork on Saginaw. She owns the Cork on Saginaw. She's catering this event. Let's give it up for Marge one time. Let's also give it up for my friend Michael Krieger of Woodbury Wines. He is providing you the wine you're drinking tonight. Let's give it up for Michael Krieger of Woodbury Wines.
Hi Jenny, how you doing?
Hey, great.
Flint's out.
Just gonna try to get one whole song.
I got some picture, aiming lights above it. God, I've been moving through, swimming through on you. And once a smile for the camera, I know you're gonna love it, yeah. I like the picture. Keep it people later. Cause I've been moving through, so it's good on you. And once a smile from the camera, I know you're gonna love it, yeah. Hey, come back to me. Hey, we'll come back to you.
Thank you for giving us the space to use today. I'm Matt D, greetings and salutations, and I'm that urban farmer guy he was talking about earlier, but instead of just talking about that, what I'm going to ask you to do is go with me and for a minute think about the land and put into words the feelings we know but we don't fully understand. What is truly valuable, not just in weight but in virtue? When you got an empty stomach, nobody has to tell you. Fill in the soil with ideas that try to make the mind grow, like a partially opened eye looking through a painted window. What we see isn't natural. Prescription direction, operated healthcare less. The nutrition sickness brought to you by gangsters planning outlaw ownerships of barbed wire democracy. Welcome one and all to the mental prison theocracy. Because the hand that feeds is wearing a badge and a glove. When politicians laugh, it's never about love. To them we're like animals afraid before the slaughter. Everybody's a victim when we're all just following orders. So don't cry about injustice with a voice full of pain. Unoccupy your fears and send hope down the drain. Make a plan for yourself and grow and attack, because the earth won't be ours until we take the land back.
Yeah. Woo! Ow!
Start out fun. But
Yeah.
now I'm about to bring out some new shit that I'm not exactly.
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
Wrote this 2 days ago. This is second draft. Alright? I want you to try to grasp something about me. My sanity is hanging by a thread, okay? It is the work of my life that keeps me alive. That and my daughter. And that's about it. But I'll tell you one thing, I love words, okay?
Yeah.
I do. I
Let
love
it out.
words. But I hate poetry, to be honest. And you know what? I don't want words to save us. Your days as measured in numbers and syllables are hardly your own observations. So if you're listening, you will hear words detailing a communication disintegration. So nouns, adverbs, and adjectives, lend me your vowels. An emotional color resides in every action-reaction relating to souls. With every heart that beats to every inflated lung, there's an intent that makes up its own goal. And that, with what we know now, bears witness to the manifestation of a human destination somewhere within a screaming chimpanzee thinking like a single-serving organic machine. Birth with survival insanity. Forging a destiny with the where and how we make the continuance called money. We defined us using half the column. It took centuries to actually define the problem. But somewhere inlaid between the hilarious and the solemn, the stoic and the maniac, the human resources on the planet were found by the antics of the emphatic. Can you see the insanity? Diseased primates infested in schizophrenic, capable of love, stricken with ego and panic, created the world of the gun, choosing to worship a man while turning our backs on the sun. Virtue is learning to use words with no need to dictate, but we'd rather use our violence like a poltergeist because we emotionally got invested in stereotypes. Words soaked in contempt that you can never shake off. Holocaust is the word that applies when I can use words to convince you that another should die. You're the antithesis of a meaningless sound when an action can make you immortal before you're put back in the ground. You are the missing piece of what the earth could become. A selfish masterpiece of a mutated genetic code. You could be a paragon if you actually loved the life you had sown. If half of you did your best, there'd probably be some better clones. Your fucking words can't save you. You're wasting your time zones while the weakening of DNA plays into your favorite religious design. Whew, we're still throwing sticks and stones. Oh, I fucked that one up, y'all. Like, I totally lost the vibe on that one. You know, if I had taken slow on that one, I probably would have done better. I can't even finish that one right, but I'll tell you what a dead horse is, because I don't know if I believe life after death is true. Wait, whoa, hold up. Whoa. Okay, rewind. Okay, this is gonna be more fun. I don't know about you, but I believe life after death is true. The way we won't let it die, the power of I, denial past the point of expiration, vision becomes a lie. I'm like a protester who missed the death of democracy, a scientist who still finds hope in theology. Nature never misses a beat when it comes to death. When she deals it all out, pray for breath. There's a prepackaged life that's really all the same soul. Giving up on reality really melts the fucking bowl. And if you don't believe that makes you a cog, you're like an abused Russian whore putting a rubber on a dog, beating a dead horse. To nurture your impotency, stay with what works and pretend that it's potency. Look up and pray, send your hope to the sky, pretend nobody ever told you that prayer was a lie. God is the name for the chaos we can't explain, but if you can't beat them, join them. Hell, living in the land of white kings? Why not? They got TV and everything. The point of no return is giving up on the betters. When strength, power, and wisdom are more than arranged letters. When you lay waste to a fear, sometimes it's a good thing to quit before you find yourself drinking milkshakes to help you forget. Ooh. No applause. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna slow it down. I'm gonna try to slow it down because they're like hyper on stage. This is more of a proper poem. It's short and sweet. It's called Animal. Whom among you is still human? When the law proves to be the Bible of failures and life changes its language and form, you'll live like you did at the time reality was born. Should you ever wonder from where our future power will come, the earth is alive. Believe in her power and her son.
All right.
I'm gonna try to do this one right. I wish I had practiced more before I came up here tonight. I try to get stuck in fifth gear sometimes and slam on that gas and then you just going as fast as you can. When really, the truth is, if you emphasize every word better, you get a better stage presence. But, I'm a fuck up. So, all right, I'm gonna try this one. Fanatic was my body language, introverted furnace, echoing with sounds of fury, coming back alone, temporarily, permanently, stricken with seemingly unquenchable curiosity. Surrounded by tempos that lacked any spark or fire, thought-provoking unrest, a mind craving some sort of test within a body at the peak of its hormonal descent. Sowing fire with seeds, if it leads, I'm willing to bleed, finding yourself infected by what you wanted to know. The forbidden fruit independently reaped is now what you must grow. Amongst the clockwork of pre-existing solutions, a barren landscape at ease with institution, debts and insurances, numbered productivity. Who's got the nerve to ask me for accountability? Or are you trying to test my human dignity? And with every year that passes, there are continental shifts in my social body, seemingly outnumbered and riddled with cancerous shells, feeling as if I'm a single remaining cell, just doing its job, making the heart healthy, beating and throbbing instinctively, ever investigating if God is just nature collectively, remembering that addiction lives and lives under attack. For every truth that changes, our reality cracks. When it comes to slaves and masters, the only answer is none. But the world at large changes when what is left cannot be undone. So I'm going to live as a final cell, just doing its job. All I needed to know was that one action is better than none. Ooh.
Of the Flint Area Creative Alliance, which is a collective of artists, local residents, and awesome, amazing people who do really amazing things in the community. Every third Wednesday at Good Beans Cafe, 328
Yes.
North Grand Traverse, there is the Creative Collab Night, which is an open mic night.
Thank you.
Quite similar to this
Yeah.
one. Well, there's open canvas, there is music, there's art, and it's an amazing space to come together and share your energy, your love, your time, and support with local artists. So if that's something you're interested in doing, make sure you reach out to Jenny. You can connect with her, give more information about that. She's going to be filming a little bit of footage, so for any of the performers, if you do not want to be filmed, make sure you just tap her on the shoulder and say, hey Jenny, you know, I'm just doing this for the night. I don't know, you know. But if you're okay with it, cool. You know, we'll get you some footage and some promotional materials, and we're gonna have a good time. So, thank you, Jenny. Appreciate that. Miss Tanisha, are you performing or no? Yes or no?
No, not tonight, but my yes.
Hey, so let's go get it in. So, I'm gonna spit a poem, and we're gonna invite Sis up to do her thing. You know, Miss Ashley gonna come and get it in. If that's cool, somebody say cool. Cool. If y'all having a good time, somebody say yeah. Yeah. Hey. Y'all is a goof. Me and this back row gonna have it out for the end of the night. I'm gonna come down. See, we didn't get the wireless mics. Y'all so good. She didn't bring me that wireless mic, cause I swear I'd be all in your face right now. What is you doing? I'll try to be a fun show host. I don't know if I do a good job of it or not, but you know, I try. My little 2 cents and my coin joke. Hey, look, I'm the king of bad dad jokes. I have no kids and got all the dad jokes in the world. Like, so, hey, like, I'm really gonna think about going into stand-up comedy. Like, this music thing don't work out, you know what I'm saying? Netflix and Comedy Central is waiting on black people.
The music thing is gonna work out.
Cool, faith, I love it. See that? Yeah. I appreciate y'all, man. I really I do this once a month, like, I get up in front of people and act like I ain't never been up in front of people. Look, Mama's shaking her head down. She already knows. She done seen me do this before. Like, what is he talking about? I like the poems, but he think he funny. Like, you know, I'm just playing. But yeah. So I'm gonna share a few more poems. Miss Ashley, you on deck? We're gonna keep this thing rolling. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Somebody give me a topic. Happy, sad, love. I'm gonna pull something out the Rolodex that I'll do.
Brexit.
Brexit. Really? Damn, Terry, you would go all super deep philosophical and political, like, okay. I gotta get permission to do them poems. She said sex. I don't know. You know, I might have to check. We're gonna come back to that. But in the meantime, I gotta cut it. Okay. I won't do that. Imagination, illumination, it's 40 watts, like 40 shots of 400 cc's of my insulin spent. Sent to counteract that sweet sugar spit, attracting ants to this mound on my sacred poetry ground, 0. This is sanctified poetry. My pad is the ark of your mental sanctuary, and by definition, poetry defined the dictionary. They're calling us visionaries, like we're subliminal, light, and airy, like the word ethereal, but they call me ethereal. By definition, we are more than these stenciled graphics created by stigmas we choose not to follow after. Our laughter goes unheard when someone says poetry and rap are the same thing. Shaking my head no as I smile at these earthlings. See, poets float through the universe because this galaxy is really made of ink, and it is redefined with every line that traverses the chasm of my ballpoint pen. glides across the finest cotton paper, descends into its fibers, and is lifted out again with the wind from a poet's lungs. These are tongues of flaming evangelism, searing my lips like poets practice cannibalism. You're catching my symbolism like a child in the catechism. It's my job to encapsulate your mind in a fabric that traverses the chasm of your brain, causing mental spasms. My pen's soul is made whole by the array of this barrage of camouflage and the way I hoard my metaphors from the score of horrors of those who claim to be P-O-E-T. See, even if you were reborn on the 18th of May, like you and I could share a birthday, you still couldn't quite write like me, you see.
Hey.
I write to break the chains of ignorance that binds the minds of those who spend their time wasting away in bars behind lines of destruction. It's a cocaine rain that infiltrates the brain as I rewind this line to find you losing yourself. So rewind the brain to infiltrate the rain of lyrical cocaine used to destroy these lines behind bars as a way of wasting time. I said I write to break the chains of ignorance that binds the minds of those who spend their time wasting away in bars behind lines of destruction. It's a cocaine rain that infiltrates the brain as I rewind this line to find you losing yourself. So rewind the brain to infiltrate the rain of lyrical cocaine used to destroy these lines behind bars as a way of wasting time. Links and bonds in this chain of ignorance that you refuse to break free of, and my pen needs to be free. You see, my pen is a catastrophe.
Hot fire right there.
It's a cataclysmic proportion. It's purportedly the reason the Riot Act was initiated. I've been inundated with a flood of foreshadowing and a sea of similes. I'm giving lessons on CP time of CP poetry, so I assimilate. Behind a cacophony of irates, my ballpoint gyrates and migrates across lands before time. You remember the land before time? See, I migrate across lands before time. Like I write with the might of a dino, like a dino might try to T-Rex you. See, you're the next fool who'll fall prey to false prey, so amen or amen. Mentions men being shunned for a lack of forgiveness. So forgive this mystery of iniquity, but the hills chills this blood running within me, and we are cold. Like that iced cappuccino, letting cats fly at Chinos or at Kinko's for the kids trying to copy me. Why don't you copy M-E? See,
Take your time now.
like that iced cappuccino, letting cats fly at Chinos or Kinko's for the kids trying to copy me. So why don't you cop M-E-C-D? See, this is the dictionary of your dreams.
Yeah.
Webs of stars for Webster's. I'm Siskel and Ebert. Systems of eagles. System of a down. Manufacturing psychological sound. I'm infiltrating your dreams like the inception of this poem. The rebirth of a lyricist.
Like I don't kid, I don't play, and I'm just spitting off the dome, and right now I'm a grown like I got ADHD, I don't know. We gonna go though. Period. Alright. Some man once told me I had a place that he would map me like a track I had been placed and I should stay. We all sin sometimes though, so repentance I prayed and religion said forgive him, so I gave my mind to the grave. If power is silent, say if power is silent. Power is silent. How strong is your chatter? Sugar and spice make girls nice, but I ain't made from cake batter. Life asks questions, flee and fight. I plan to always climb that ladder. Pay some Benjis for my thoughts. Pretend you really think they matter. If I gave you my intention, you cry vicious evil minion. But I never been a villain. I'm a woman on a mission. hearts, I'ma make them mended. If I were president, I'd make amendments. Not war in Satan's kitchen, now don't call me Donald Trump, but I ain't got no foreign policy. We all ET, my ancestors came from across the seas. If I were president, I'd bring that change that my people could see. A roll of quarters to abolish mental slavery. Your money tree, your blind eye keeps staring at me. My people hungry, you can't see some knowledge with the gift of trees, son. If I were president, I'd be the son. My people hungry, won't you feed them? Say we thirst for knowledge but can't drink the water. Knowledge but can't drink the water. But if I were president, I'd be elected on Friday. Assassinated on Saturday and buried on Sunday. Sing it with me. If I were president, I'd be elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday and buried on Sunday.
Wow.
And on to the next one. Thy queendom to be predator, not prey. Said some real ish on yesterday, you still know comprende. Soldier sister, I'm Gaddafi, I blaze verbal AKs. You might know me as the boss cause I slay, I slay. Sitting in the tower full of flower power. Looking at the world cause we know it's ours. Brown queen, hold it down like the root to flower. Brown queen, hold it down cause I'm from Wakanda.